Today I'll be explaining how raid mechanics work in Scrap Mechanics Survival Mode. Before we can talk about how raids actually spawn themselves, we have to figure out what causes them to spawn. And to do so, I first have to talk about cells. The world is split up into 256 by 256 boxes, each one called a cell. The game, when checking crops, will only check one cell at a time. So if your farm is split between multiple cells, it won't add the total of your entire farm as one. Here is a chart of crop value. Basically, it will add up all the crops in a single cell and get their total value. If your value is higher than 10, a raid can spawn. Now that we know all this information, here is a farm I designed. This farm will never get raided, since there is only a total of 9 crop value per cell. This is one of the ways you can prevent raid spawns. More on that later. Now let's talk about raid levels. What causes stronger raids to appear? As you can see from this diagram, depending on your crop level in a specific cell, the raid level will get larger. Although, raid level 7 to 10 require a high level count. High level count is the amount of crops with a crop value of 3 or more existing within that cell. Now that we know why raids spawn, let's see how they spawn. This chart highlights the amount of farmbots that will spawn for each wave. In raids, not all the farmbots described per raid level and wave will spawn due to spawning conditions. So let's check where they spawn. Raiders will spawn within 200 to 320 blocks away from the raid center. These spots are chosen at random. Each raider has 32 attempts to spawn. They can only spawn on terrain. You will probably have noticed by now that the farmbots in raids act differently than normal farmbots. That is because there are 3 different Farmbot states: the default, raider, and ambush. There are many differences between the 3 of them. Here is a simple diagram showing the main differences between them. How do you stop farmbots from spawning completely? There are a few ways. Some are easy and some are hard. They all have their own benefits. So for the first one, Multi-Cellular. This is a design I showed off at the beginning. Basically, the farm isn't big enough for a raid since it's between multiple cells. The pros to this farm is that there's no blocks required and it's simple to set up. The cons to the farm are that it's limited in size and you can't really make it bigger without having to go 500 blocks away. This is a good starter farm. Farm number 2, Island. So using an island, which is smaller than 700 blocks wide and at least 300 blocks away from any other island, you basically make a perimeter since the farmbots can't spawn in water. The pros to this are it's super easy. There's no blocks required, and you can make a pretty decent farm. The cons are that not all the seeds have a good island. Your map might not have any islands that are good enough for an island design. This farm is easy to set up and good for amateurs. Farm number 3, Roof Farm. This farm is exactly what it sounds like. You make a roof above the spawning area, and there you go. Before you go build the farm, I should probably remind you that the actual spawning area has around 49,000 blocks. So the pros, you can stop spawning absolutely anywhere. It's expandable, and you can make the biggest farms known to mankind. The cons are that you have to place 49,000 blocks, and it takes time to make it. First things first, thanks for watching through all of that. And secondly, make sure to share the video. It helps me out a ton. And don't forget to subscribe. I'm very close to 500 subs. Thanks for watching.